Good morning. You're listening to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. This morning I have two guests. I have Graham Howerton, the president of the FEI Group, and I have Tom Hickman, the president of Nationwide Marketing Group. Gentlemen, how you doing this morning?
Really well. Thank you, Kemp.
I'm doing great, Kemp. It's nice to meet you.
Good, Tom. It's the first time we've talked. You're in Winston-Salem. I want to cover some news I've been wanting to cover since June the 7th. Now Nationwide is the parent of the FEI Group. Before we get into too much of that, though, real quick, I was drawing some parallels on the history. Most people know the FEI Group was formerly FloorExpo in the flooring business, and they've grown now to have 310 members and about 830 locations. A buying group serving the builder and multifamily contractor area, and their founder, Dave Giesling, died of a widowmaker heart attack. Nationwide Marketing Group, formerly Nationwide TV and Appliance, now has 5,000 members and 14,000 stores. A buying group started focusing on small appliances. The threat at the time was Sears and Montgomery Ward, which we both know is gone now. But your founder, Lee Gutman, died of a widowmaker heart attack. I thought that was pretty interesting.
So you've done your homework. That is correct. A ton more parallels between the two businesses than that, but that's quite an interesting place to start.
Real quick, Tom, 10 years at Nationwide, and prior to that, 16 years at Toshiba. Prior to that, BrandSmart USA. Went to the Citadel and also got a law degree from Wake Forest. Graham, you've been 17 years at the FEI Group. Was with Anderson Windows before that, and Armstrong for 7 years. I say that with emphasis now since Armstrong just had this major sale, so I'm sure you've been enjoying some of the legacy social media that's been going on around the Armstrong brand name. You started out in the hospitality business. It was announced June 7th that Nationwide Marketing Group was merging with FEI Group. Tell us what the fit is.
For us, I guess we keep it simple up top when we think about the big things. We want to keep the big thing the big thing. For us, that's always how we best serve our member and our supply partners. And one thing we came to the realization, Kemp, is that what worked for us, what was successful for us, and how we served our members the last 23 years needed to be different in terms of how we were going to serve our members and our supply partners for the next 23 years. We had to be a better resource for our members and our supply partners for the next decade and beyond. And you know, Kemp, better than anyone, how much the flooring contractor has changed, even in the past 3 and 4 years. But when you start to think about 5, 10, and 15 years ago, there's been a dynamic shift in what a flooring contractor looks like today and how they operate versus the way they did 10, 15, 20 years ago. And that was the genesis of finding a partner that could help us achieve our goals the next 5, 10, 20 years.
How did you guys find each other?
Interesting. We're first introduced by a very good mutual friend of all of us here on the phone, Howard Brodsky,
Okay.
longtime CEO of CCA Global, which the great thing in this partnership that's happened between FEI Group and NMG is that CCA is still a partner of ours. They're still very much involved in helping us operate our business just as they have been for the past 20 years. So that was just, for us, a great important part of this partnership moving forward.
So if I had to summarize the fit, I guess it's basically Nationwide Marketing Group. They talk about scale in almost all the stuff they have on their website. So it's increasing the scale and then having more members to share the digital systems, the support systems that are needed to be competitive. Is that kind of the essence of it?
Here's how we look at it. It's pretty simple. Is independent businesses and private businesses, no matter how large they are, somewhere along the way struggle with the scale and the resources that they need to compete against, whether it's big box or large contractors or other parts of the business or whoever it is that they're competing against, and ultimately drive their bottom line. Nationwide Marketing, what we do is provide that scale, those resources, and those experts in the categories around data, technology, aggregate buy, business services, to help them focus on driving their business and drive their bottom line. So the result is that they have entrepreneurs and independent and private businesses and drive their customer relations, drive their sales, and we help them drive their bottom line in a more sustainable business by leveraging the some 300 folks that work at Nationwide Marketing Group to help them in their businesses and whatever they may need it, whether that's technology, business intelligence, aggregate buy, business services, banking relationships, HR, you name it. We're built to serve those businesses in those areas where they may need help.
Okay, and how has the integration gone so far, and what benefits are you seeing from this new relationship?
Well, I'll let Graham speak for the FEI side. From the nationwide side, anytime we can partner with like-minded leadership from a member service attitude, we learn. And we've learned very quickly in the short period of time how near and dear their member and vendor relationships are to them, how they treat those customers, what they need. And we do the same thing, right? We put the member at the center of everything that we do. So being aligned, understanding their best practices, their go-to-market, their strategies to serve those members, and where those overlap with ours and where we can learn from them and they can learn from us, has been the immediate opportunity, is just learning the go-to-market strategies and where we can add value. Just a small example, I think that FEI does a world-class job with Climb, in their next level leadership initiative. As big as we are, and we're really good at some things, we're not that great at that. So we're going to take that, bring it in, and expand it to our network. It's a small example, but it's one that we found on day one that is going to make both companies better, I think.
I know that the FEI Group has a meeting in Marco Island in October. Will you have several of your key people at that meeting?
Yes, we will. In fact, their director of human resources at Nationwide Marketing Group is putting on one of our sessions during our pick-a-session day at conference. That's just one example of many of the NMG folks that will be at our conference helping us deliver more impactful sessions for our members. What we're really doing on the top of the funnel, so to speak, Kemp, is we are attending Nationwide's one of their two national conferences here in just a few weeks. They call it Prime Time. It's happening in Orlando in August. This gives our team a fresh new look at the way Nationwide serves their members at these big events. So that's a great thing for our team to see. It's an idea laboratory in our mind. There's going to be so many great takeaways we're going to have. That will help us build a better conference at the end of October. It's great that we have that time in between, because we're going to be able to take away a lot from those sessions and integrate some of their great resources, programs, and initiatives into our event in October.
All right. Tell us real quickly what's going on with both the builder market and the multifamily market.
In the midst of all the chaos and uncertainty, we try to focus on the fundamentals. The group most likely to form new households, those in the age of from 25 to 34 years old, is now the largest in the history of the United States. And it's up by almost 4 million in the past decade. That's a really strong foundation. It looks like through all the adjusted starts this year, we may finish around that 1 million, 1.1 million in terms of starts this year, maybe a little less than was originally forecasted. But we have a continued backlog or back demand that you've reported on several times of about 4 million homes. We are short in delivering to the demand. So that 1.1 million starts this year is not even going to eat into our backlog of demand, right? So the fundamentals of the market we serve are really strong. I think one of the things that's different moving forward is that the demand for those dwellings is going to include traditional multifamily, of course, traditional single-family new construction, but it's also the single-family for rent marketplace, which is growing faster than anyone predicted, I think. There's always headwinds. Right now, it's interest rates, supply chain issues, inflation, all those things. Those things are always there in one form or another. The demand is there. There's no solution outside of building more homes in one form or another to serve the demand that's both existing and pending and continuing to grow. So that's just the way we look at it in terms of how we build strategy. It's going to be strong. We'll ride the roller coaster here and there along the way, but what a strong foundation for our members' businesses moving forward.
I got it, Graham. So what you're saying is a good long-term play. There might be a couple bumps in the road. Well, listen, guys, I appreciate you spending some time with me today. And Tom, thanks for giving me the chance to introduce you to a wider group of the flooring business. Again, been talking to Tom Hickman, the president of Nationwide Marketing Group, and to Graham Howerton, the president of the FEI Group. And you've been listening to Kemp R and FloorDaily.net.